Hi everyone, welcome to another video in CIR. Today we're going to be over some beginner airsoft things, specifically the three types of airsoft guns, which are electric, gas, and spring. And yeah, I'm just going to go through the pros and cons of each type and then give my personal opinion afterwards. So the first category we're going to be doing today is spring rifles. Right off the bat, the pros of these is that they are cheap. I found this one for about $35 at Academy. I had a great time messing around with it with my brother in my backyard. And the other pro of these is that spring rifles make for really good sniper rifles because many snipers are bolt action anyway. So just putting in a spring for an airsoft kind of situation just really makes a lot of sense. Now, having said that, the cons are that many cheaper versions of spring rifles aren't really allowed in most airsoft fields, and the main reason is because they vary a lot in FPS. They could be shooting way too slow at one moment and way too fast at another, and this could really harm other players and just really hurts your game overall. And the second con is that they're really a pain in the butt. If you're doing anything but a sniper rifle where you have time to load it, you're kind of just done. And like a medium or low range situation, you don't have time to load it, shoot a pellet, load again, because other people are going to have semi-automatic and automatic weapons that are like electric or gas that can shoot you a whole lot faster than you can get your rounds off. Alright, next on the chopping block, we got electric rifles. Right off the bat, these are usually cheaper than gas rifles because they only have one battery and you can recharge that battery. Whereas for gas guns, you have to buy more and more cartridges, and you usually burn through 3 or 4 of them in a day. They're pretty durable as well. I've had this for about 2 to 3 years. It's just got some scratches on the plastic for me running up against trees and stuff, and a little bit on the metal part in the front as well, because I was doing adjustments and this metal rail guard up here was causing some problems. And pretty easy maintenance, as I was talking about. I was trying to adjust some things up here. I did that with absolutely no problem at all. The gearbox, which is going to be your main center, and that's what makes the gun shoot, is right here. This flap protects it pretty well against the elements, so as long as your gearbox is working, most of the guns are going to be functioning pretty well. In addition to all of that, these are pretty fast, which means more precise. They shoot around 300 to 500 feet per second, and obviously it's going to vary whether or not you get a pistol, or a rifle, but they're usually pretty solid all around kind of things. The cons of these though is that, as you might have guessed, it's electricity running through this. Their performance does drop in high humidity or rainy areas just because you're using an electric rifle. The lifespan's just going to be slowed down a bit just because, it's electricity and water. This stuff is going to corrode. It just happens. Personally, this is my favorite because you can find them light and heavy. So if you want like a full metal, try to feel as the weight is much as close to a real gun as possible, you can do that. If you want a less heavy, like this is plastic down here and metal up here, if you want kind of that where you kind of still feel like you're holding a real gun, however it's not like actually heavy, so you're lugging around this huge heavy thing and getting tired of carrying it, you can do that. There's also a full plastic one, so if you want a really light gun, you can take that too. Last up, we got gas guns. I'm going to be showing you guys a pistol today because, as I mentioned in the electric section, they use a lot of these cartridges. I usually go through about 2 a day while using this pistol, a little bit more if I decide to run pistols only for a day for whatever reason. Maybe I'm just enjoying it. If you're using or you're thinking of using a rifle, you're probably going to be using a whole lot more of these than I would. However, these aren't that expensive. You can find around 100 of them for $60-ish on several websites. And yeah, as long as you make sure to have these in game and you don't run out of them, you should be fine, because as soon as you run out of them, you don't have a gun to fire. It won't go. You're gonna have to walk out and end the game, which is basically all the cons this has. All the pros are basically, this thing feels really cool. It's got recoil, it's got safety measures, It's just a really fun gun, and it really is inclusive and involved. It's really amazing. I really love running with this pistol, especially because it just feels really cool. It goes really straight. Gas guns usually shoot at around 300 to 600 FPS, so they're pretty precise. And yeah, if you're looking for a more realistic kind of airsoft gun that touches closer to what actual guns feel like, this is probably your best bet. I've got a suppressor on my pistol just because I bought it and it looks cool. The orange tip is underneath on the actual barrel of the pistol. And yeah, there you are. So in conclusion today, if you're a beginner, I would suggest going for an electric rifle, mainly because they're going to be the cheapest. And rifles are usually better than pistols in an airsoft scenario, especially if you're not used to getting shot at. Rifles allow you to sit a little bit farther back than pistols would. And I really hope you guys enjoyed watching this video, because I sure did enjoy making it. See you guys next time.